Blog Talk Radio.
From the Cyberstation USA studios, it's Music Friday, the end of the week program of Fairness Radio, where you choose the bands we interview and we put them on the air for you to talk to. Just go to our website, musicfriday.nationbuilder.com, and click on your choice and tell us who you want to hear on the show. The top vote getters every week wins a place talking with you and me on the air. Any kind of music is okay. Well, maybe not classical, but rock, hip-hop, country, pop, blues, jazz, world, they're all good. I'm your host, Patrick O'Heffernan. I'm in Los Angeles. I'm broadcasting every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern on the Cyberstation USA network, the BlogTalkRadio network, and our radio affiliates. It's August 9th, 2013, and today we're going to be talking with two great musicians from King, Washington, fabulous indie band, and we're going to be talking with a breakout female singer-songwriter, Hannah Kim. You can be part of the show. You can call us, 347-215-7511. That's 347-215-7511. Or you can email us. You can email us at musicfridaylive@gmail.com. That's musicfridaylive@gmail.com. Well, before we get off into music, let me talk a little bit about solar power and my sponsor. In the year 2000, sounds like ancient history, doesn't it? In the year 2000, I put solar electric panels on my roof of my home. My solar system cut my electricity bill in half. Solar power, I found, is a huge win-win for homeowners. With SolarCity, you can go solar for zero down payment on approved credit. That's right. No upfront costs. Now, how does SolarCity do this? Well, they went out and they listened. People all over the country told SolarCity that they wanted solar, but they couldn't afford the upfront cost. So SolarCity got rid of it. SolarCity will come out and install the right solar system on your home for free, and you just pay the power cost just like you do from utility. You only pay for the power you use. But since solar is generating a lot of that power, maybe as much as half of that power, you pay for less of it. SolarCity pays for the installation of the solar system, it pays for the insurance on it, and it pays to maintain it. All you do is enjoy the savings. Okay, so if you've been ready for solar, but solar hasn't been ready for you, it is now at SolarCity, America's #1 clean energy provider. How do you find out about it? Well, you call Tina. That's right, you call Tina. She's at SolarCity. There really is a Tina. And tell her you heard about solar power on Fairness Radio, 909-618-6937. Let me give you a minute to get a pen and pencil out. That's 909-618-6937. And when you talk to Tina, you tell her you heard about it at Fairness Radio or Music Friday or that I sent you, and she will give you a $250 discount on your order. That's 909-618-6937, and that will take you to SolarCity, where you can find out how to get solar on your home, your business, with no upfront cost on approved credit. Okay, we're going to take a break now. We have to take a break to welcome in our affiliates. And when we come back, Tyson Kelly and George Krikes of King, Washington. Don't go away. You're listening to Fairness Radio, the Friday program, Music Friday, and we will be right back.
Cyberstation USA is the future of radio. Get your business into the online future at the world's largest internet radio station. From banner placement on our homepage to any of our broadcaster stages, commercials on our video player, audio spots on any of our shows, or at the beginning of any of our on-demand broadcasts. Cyberstation USA offers competitive rates with a worldwide reach, a fully integrated one-stop shop social media broadcast platform. For more information, please contact our sales department at cameo@cyberstationusa.com.
You're into the paranormal, then you're into Don Ecker and Dark Matter.
Something I have been immersed in for 20 years. Lunar research on items known as lunar transient phenomena. For over 400 years, world-class astronomers have been observing strange sights, lights, flashes, and other things on the moon.
Provocative topics, listeners' calls, and interesting guests.
My guest, Mr. Alan Stern.
On my website, I have a list of 100 or so lunar conspiracy theories. I had to kind of come to terms with one of them that I hadn't really thought about.
It's the kind of show that might keep you up at night.
Speculation is, at some time in our past, or perhaps even today, there is another presence on the moon. And I'm not talking about indigenous lunar folks. I'm talking about a space base by somebody else on the far side.
Dark Matters with Don Ecker, exclusively on...
And that's exclusively on Cyberstation USA. And I am Patrick O'Heffernan, your host at Music Friday, and I want to welcome all of our radio listeners out there in Radio Land. Special shout out to our listeners in Tampa Bay. Hi there, everybody listening to us on 1490 WWPR in Tampa Bay, Bradenton, Florida. I bet you're seeing a lot of tourists this year. And also to our listeners, our FM listeners in Oregon, and that's on KSKQ-FM in Ashland, Oregon. And Ashland, Oregon is also seeing a lot of vacation people this year, mostly coming up in California. They want to go to the best Shakespeare festival in the country, which is in Ashland, Oregon. Well, King Washington is a band that is making a name for itself through sheer talent, creativity, and just plain fun. Complex harmonies, intelligent and emotion-generating guitar chords, and lyrics that make you think, laugh, and suck you in all the way. This is a band on the move, and it's releasing its new album next month. And we are doubly lucky to have with us two of the trio, George Krikes and Tyson Kelly. Hi, guys.
Hey.
Tell you what, since there's two of you and I make the third male voice, why don't we separate you? George, why don't you say George?
Hey there, I'm George.
Okay, and Tyson?
It's me. It's Tyson Kelly. I sound a little different, not much different, but if you can adjust your molecules audibly, I think we can get through this.
I think we can do that. All right. Well, George, why don't we start with you? Tell us about the new album.
Well, we're very excited about it. We recorded it out in Milwaukee, where we did the first album. But we had our buddy Alex Fender from the band Yo-Ya come in and produce it, and he knocked it out of the park, I got to tell you.
He did. And when is it going to be released?
We're releasing it to the public on the 27th. But if you come out, if you're here in LA, we're playing the show August 24th at the Bootleg Theater. To release it, we'll have advanced copies there for everyone, and it's going to be a good night.
It's going to be a very good night. That's for all of our Southern California listeners. That's the Bootleg Theater, August 24th, and you get to go to the release party. Well, why don't we just listen to a little bit of it? Here we go. This is The Overload.
Awesome.
From these ashes, I
That's The Overload by King Washington, and of course we played a little bit more of that because we wanted to give you an opportunity to hear the chorus and also some of those great guitar riffs. Okay, who's being overloaded there? Is it you or society or the mixing board? Where did that come from?
I think the listener should be the overloaded person at the time, but I think we're all victims of the overload. George?
I would have to agree, as with the album, I would say.
Yeah. Well, I think it's great the way you have managed to bring in those guitar riffs and your harmony. You guys have built a band on harmony, and that's not easy to do. And as far as I can tell, your audiences really love it, and I love it. So how did you find each other, and how did you learn to harmonize like that? Gosh,
well, let's see. I started the band. This is Tyson here. I started the band out of high school, and always just loved, great harmonizing bands from an early age. all the '60s stuff was just chock full of great songwriting and harmonies, and big influences. Simon & Garfunkel and the Beatles and, Crosby, Stills and Nash, all those guys were just big influences. And I instantly was drawn to trying to get three-part harmonies in the songs. But I met George through my brother who went to USC, and we, I asked him to join the group, and he obliged. And, we've just been writing cool songs ever since. And that was about 6-7 years ago, so... I think we've come a long way, though.
Who leads, or is there a lead in your harmony?
Who leads in the singing? We both sing leads on different songs. George is singing lead in the intro to The Overload, and then the chorus happens, and I guess I'm singing the melody. But it's such a huge mash of parts that there's not really a lead singer. I mean, there's so many. When we play live shows, we got to tell the sound guy, don't make anyone any louder, make us all the same level, because we're constantly switching leads and this and that. So we kind of, for the live show, we kind of just back off from the mic if we're not singing lead and mix ourselves live, kind of that way.
Well, it works really well, and because I haven't heard you live, and I'm going to try my best to hear you live on the 24th, but it works really well. You guys have really pulled it off. But I want to listen to a slightly different sound now. Let's listen to a little bit of You Let It Go.
Oh, sure. Great. Here we go.
Okay. Big guitars, same great harmony, big melody, love it. But a kind of a different style. How did that one come about?
Well, that was actually an old song that was supposed to be on the last record, The Gears, and it didn't quite make the cut. So we threw it on the next one. How did that come about? I don't know. I think we were jamming that out in a garage like 2008, 2009.
Yeah, that was definitely a garage jam.
That's a garage jam. But yeah, that's kind of a more unique one of our songs. That's like one of the few songs that only has like 5 chords in it or something. And it's just kind of bouncing off 3 chords in the beginning, and we usually get a little bit more intricate with the chord progressions. But Yeah, I mean, that's...
Interestingly enough, it's the same progression as the title track off the first album, The Gears.
Yeah,
it's the same chord.
Key. It's in the same key, same chord progression, everything.
You guys, your guitar chops are outstanding, and the way you slide them into the harmony, it's like you're putting brightly colored stripes inside of a waterfall. It's really remarkable how you do that. We've got some email for you.
Oh, we got an email.
Yeah, we've got more than one email for you here. Danny Boy in Milwaukee says, "Yay, Milwaukee! How did they wind up recording in Milwaukee? What brought some LA boys out to our part of the world?"
Danny Boy, the answer to that is our idol and god Joe Puerta has an amazing studio in Milwaukee called the Exchange Studio. And he saw us live many years ago and invited us to go record out there, and finally made our way out there and just met everybody that works in the studio, and everybody was just awesome, and we really got along, and recorded our first album there twice, and so we got really comfortable in that space, and so we decided to go back to do our second album there, and we just really love it out there. Milwaukee all the way. Fast.
Yay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to go from Milwaukee to Los Angeles, and Cecily in Los Angeles wants to know, were there ever four of you?
Were there ever four of you? Yes, there still are, I guess. You mean like because yes, there's always four, 2 guitars, bass player, and a drummer. Right now we've been playing with our buddy Lucas on the drums. He's playing with us live, and but sometimes he's not available, so we'll play acoustic shows and such like that. But yeah, we've gone through a bunch of different drummers over the years, and it's the endless struggle to find the drummer that commits. You know what I'm saying, George?
Oh, I know the struggle. It is daily. But yeah, Lucas has been great. He played on the album with us. He's a killer drummer. He plays in another band called Races, and he plays with a bunch of people. He gets hired out all the time. He's killer.
You guys wear out drummers, huh?
I guess so.
Well, my producer, Lars Christensen, is also a drummer, so he may pop in and volunteer. I don't know. We'll see about that.
Wow, yeah.
Another email here from 66 on 66, and he or she writes, "Did any of you have voice lessons or sing in choir or chorus or something like that?"
No, not me. I think George was. Weren't you in like choir?
I did some choir in high school just for 1 year, but it was very formative. I got to do a lot of a cappella stuff, barbershop, quartet kind of things, and really learned a lot about arranging vocals. And but I mean, Tyson has a knack for it naturally. And then when I went to music school also, and when we put our brains together, we can really come up with some cool stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you certainly have, and you said when you put your brains together, this to me is intelligent rock and roll, and I don't know if you think of it that way or you set out to do that, but this is very sophisticated music that has really wide appeal and is really accessible. That's a neat trick to pull off.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just. I think a big part of some of these songs are very much classically influenced as well. I don't know. I got really obsessed personally with classical piano when I was like 14, and I just started learning all these. I didn't listen to anything but like classical piano, like Romantic era Chopin and Liszt. I think that had a big influence on just kind of developing someone over the more intricate part of chord progressions that maybe some of these songs, because many years later, when I was 16, 17, 18, started getting more into writing and instead of just learning classical pieces. And I think that has maybe a big influence on maybe the more intricate parts of the songs. And also, just listening to the great songwriters and taking it all in and just having a musical background. My dad's big songwriter, and it's kind of genetically, right. I think, just, it's inside of me somehow. And same with George,
Yeah. You're listening to Music Friday. We are talking with 2/3 of King Washington. We're talking about their upcoming album, The Overload, and you can be part of this. You can call in. You can talk to them, too. 347-215-7511. That's 347-215-7511. You can email us at musicfridaylive@gmail.com. That's musicfridaylive@gmail.com. And, of course, we are brought to you by SolarCity. SolarCity is the #1 provider of solar energy in the country, and you can be part of the solar revolution. Call SolarCity. Call Tina at SolarCity and tell her that we sent you, and you will receive a $250 discount on your first order. That's 909-618-6937. 909-618-6937. Well, we have lots of emails here from people who want to know where they can see you. So what's the tour like? I know you've got an album release party set up in August 24th. Anything else on your schedule?
We got about 4 tours booked right now. No, that's a joke.
So you each go on a separate one, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, right.
We're right now. We're going to be doing an East Coast sort of a showcase, situation. We're going to be playing the East Coast a lot. We feel like we've been in LA for a long time and the West, and although we haven't really toured all around. That's kind of a hard thing to just jump into because, when nobody really knows you in other states and other cities, you can't really expect people to show up. So we're trying to get our name out there on the East Side right now. So if you guys know anybody in the East and Manhattan or Brooklyn or, Jersey, all that stuff. Boston, yeah, we'll be hitting up Boston, I'm sure of it. The next 6 months, just check in, like us on Facebook and get notifications and, go to our website, kingwashingtonmusic.com, and just sign up on our email list, and we'll keep you updated on all the future bookings and stuff like that. That's the best way to keep informed.
Well, our syndicators and our major studios are in Boston, and like I said, my producer is a drummer, and I'm sure he would be happy to carry your equipment. Were you to play in Boston? Hear that, Lars? I'm volunteering you. I'm going to get you to take your earphones off and go over to the microphone. Right. Okay. I want to play a slightly different piece of music, slightly different song here. You're a Cat.
Oh, great. George's favorite.
Okay. That is my favorite. I love it.
You're a cat, you're a fat cat living in New York. Don't belong to the young, and the young won't follow anymore. It's a nice day today, think it's time to make a cup of tea. Now you're all by yourself, and it's barely noon. You're alive.
I love that song, and apparently our listeners do too, because in the middle of it we got a call in. This is Chrissy. Are you there?
Hello.
Hello.
How are you guys? So,
good.
My question was for, the King Washington boys. So, how do you guys feel about, about your growing fan base? Because I'm a fan of you guys on Facebook, and you guys get fan art and stuff. Must be a pretty big thing, right?
Yeah, I'm all about it. I mean, that's what we live for, is the fans. Without you guys, honestly, it's not significant, because we do it for you guys. So when we hear that, you guys are into it, that means the world to us, George?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's the greatest feeling in the world to be loved, I must say.
That sounds like the name of the song. Or if it isn't, it's going to be soon. Chrissy, how did you find out about King Washington?
Oh, I found out about King Washington because my friend Lauren exposed me to him because she draws, fan art and stuff of him, and she knew Tyson, and I listened to his stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, these guys are amazing. Why don't they play in Indiana? And
so where in Indiana are you?
A small backwoods town called Bloomfield.
Well,
sadly.
Well, maybe you should find out what kind of venues there are in your part of Indiana and let them know, and who knows, maybe they will. And I'm not going to promise anything because they're here and they can do their own promising, but let them know.
Well, I already met one of them while I was in New York this summer.
There you go. I remember the day.
Yeah, I gave you a heart attack.
That sounds like a story that I'm not sure we could tell on the radio.
Oh, nonsense.
No, it's okay. No, it's good. I was at Let It Be, and I knew he was one of the guys that was being cycled in the show, and I was waiting outside for about a half hour, and they closed the doors of all the cast members leave, and I was like, well, I better guess I go. And then he comes out, and I yell, Tyson! And he jumps, and I swear he jumped back, and I felt like I gave the poor boy a heart attack. And I was like, oh, no.
Well, obviously you didn't because he's still here. Well, thank you for calling.
I'm still alive.
We love to hear from fans. We've got one more piece of music I want to play, and that is Don't Expect My Love.
The single.
Well, that's kind of a different song. That's much more heavy rock and percussion.
Yeah, all the way.
And it sounds like it was a lot of fun to do too.
Yeah, that song, is definitely. I mean, we were definitely planning on that being the single. It's just that chorus is real catchy and gets in your head. And originally it was kind of a joke. Kind of brought the song in and played it for everybody, and I was like, I don't know, this just sounds like a Bee Gees song on cocaine or something. I don't know, it's just weird, and but it ended up being like, everybody was like, shit, man, I need that song in my life, so we made it the single, and it was released a month ago, and we're just kind of waiting for hopefully something to happen, but this album as a whole, I think, is a much more significant piece of representation of the music. Wouldn't you agree, George?
And when George
agree.
agrees, he's going to remember that we're on terrestrial radio stations, and there are 7 words that you can't say, one of which just slipped out. So, George, go ahead.
I think Tyson slipped that one out, but yes, I definitely agree. It's all we're happy about this one. Would you say about this song being a different? Oh, yes.
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, with this song sounding different. When we play live with the electric, man, we rock out pretty hard. But when we do it with the trio, we've just played an acoustic show, and we do the totally opposite sound, where it's just the harmonies and the music and the songs. And so we do have that kind of dichotomy, pretty apparent.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. When you play live, first of all, are there people dancing?
Yeah, you get people bobbling in their heads, and they're kind of dancing. But no, I mean, I don't think that's... they can dance. There are some that dance, and there's some that bob the heads. But,
yeah. Well, when you play live, like you said, it's much more percussive. It's much more rocking out. You're playing with the electric, and yet recording, you're much more harmonious and melodious. Does that mean you have two fan bases, or you have one fan base that just loves everything? George?
Yeah, I think definitely everyone likes both sides. I think people really enjoy coming hearing us rock out and hearing the loud, crazy stuff. And the same people really enjoy the songs when we strip them down and they hear the same thing, but it sounds totally different. It's really, it's like when you go see the Eagles acoustic. It's like, oh, it's the same songs, but I love it.
Okay. We got an email here from Fallacy in New York City, and Fallacy wants to know what do you call yourselves? Are you rock, indie, whatever? And then he's got a note that says Joe's Cafe, which may be a suggestion of a place to play in New York.
Oh, great.
So what do you call yourself?
The style of music, I don't know, rock and roll, folk, I don't know, George?
Yeah, it just varies. I mean, I guess we're an indie rock band, but we definitely have intense 3-part harmonies and kind of crazier stuff than normal. So it's hard to say.
Along those lines, I wanted to ask you, I know you spent a residency at the Wits End, and for our non-Los Angeles, Southern California listeners, the Wits End is a sort of a creative center for music and video in Venice, which takes bands and gives them a set of dates which they can play every week. And also it's got a listening room in it which is designed to sound really, really well, and people go there who really, really like music. But it's a place where bands can go and develop themselves. So when you were at Wits End, what were you working on? What did that help you with?
What were we working on? I think we were just playing the show to get a bigger following. I mean, we're really nobody really knows about us besides our small group of fans. So, I don't know, we'd released the record 3 months prior. Our first debut album, The Gears, was just released in June, and it was only September. So we were just trying to get the word out, and I think that was really the first series of shows where people actually started packing the house and they were going nuts and kind of like started showing us that, wow, maybe we have a chance in this city, because up until I think that residency was kind of, we weren't packing the place, but we were bringing people, but I think that was kind of like, oh, wow, this is the result of releasing our first album and people are starting to get familiar with the music. And so our goal at that point was just to spread the word, and that's still our goal, and it's still very hard, because we're not, under a label or anything. We don't have anyone backing us. It's just all independent. So, we're looking to change that soon.
Well, that's what we're trying to do here, and I'm sure based on the emails and the phone calls and stuff, I think we are. And unfortunately, we're out of time. So I want to thank you guys for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Tyson Kelly and George Krikes, 2/3 of King Washington. Their new album, Overload, will be out next month. Right now, check them out at kingwashingtonmusic.com. We have to take a break now, and when we return, a breakout singer with a breakthrough album, Hannah Kim, is going to join us. Don't go away. You're listening to Music Friday.